Cool. So welcome. So my power yoga class is slightly different to my hatha class. So those who are just joining tonight, we still have that mindfulness approach. You still need to be thinking about that grounding of the feet and that lifting through the body, but we'll be adding in a bit more than we normally do in hatha. And we're chilling first, Amanda, so you're fine. We're okay. All right. We started last week on like a real upbeat, and I think I killed everybody. So we're going to start at the top of our mat tonight. And what we're going to do, we're going to work through just some very basic sun salutations, just to start warming us up. So I want you all to just take a moment, as we do at the beginning of class, and just feel that lift through the body. Feel that grounding into the heels, that connection with the mat. Relaxing the shoulders. Just taking a moment. We're going to move a lot with the inhale and the exhale tonight. So use your breath. If you're not quite working in sync, use your breath as it feels natural. So we're going to lift, inhale all the way up. Take a moment here, just lifting and stretching through the front body. Maybe taking the gaze up to the hands, up to the thumbs. And as we swan dive forward, bend the knees, engage the core, and come all the way into just a fold. And just take a moment here, starting just to ease the legs by lifting the heels. Inhale, flat back, bring the hands to the shins or wherever they're comfy for you, that length. And planting the hands, our yogi hands, we're going to step back or hop into plank. Just reminders for folk just to keep the hands stacked underneath the shoulders. Use those yogi claws instead of paws, so really just pushing into the fingers. Front body lifts up into the back body and really stretch and lift into the heels, gaze long. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Bending the knees, pushing into downward facing dog. Just reminding again a few basics. Hands supporting, pushing the forearms towards each other, feeling that shoulder kind of engage. Engaging the core, lifting the belly into the spine, bend the knees, push the sit bones, letting the gaze towards the knees. Bend the knees, look forwards, hop or step to the top of the mat. Lift all the way up, rising up, big sunburst, hands to the heart. So we're going to do that a little faster. Inhale, lift, hands out to the side or up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, jump or hop to plank. Into downward facing dog. You can take that chaturanga if you want to, Ajahn. That was lovely to see. Hopping to the front of the mat again. Swan dive, lifting all the way up. Exhaling, swan dive. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, hopping into plank if you wish. Take a moment here. All the way back to downward facing dog. Hopping to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, dive. Fold. Inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. And if you want to take chaturanga into upward facing dog, or even just come down into cobra if you're not sure about that, meeting in downward facing dog. Excellent. And we're going to come up and over. So what we need, we're going to come from downward facing dog. We're going to lift up onto our tiptoes and come up and over into a high plank. Inhale, lifting up. And exhaling over. So imagine you're going over a big gym ball. Then pushing back into the heels. Option, you can always come to the forearms. We spoke about this last week. If you're not so keen on using your wrists all the time. So as we come over to plank, you can come down to a forearm plank. You can even clasp the hands gently. Knees can come down to the mat if you just want to take a little softness in this. All the way up to downward facing dog. Going to step to the middle of the mat. Draw yourself all the way up, lifting. Hands to the heart. Take a moment, we're going to interlace the hands behind us. We're going to draw gently down the knuckles. Inhale, opening the chest. Softening the knees, we're going to bend forward, so folding, allowing those hands behind you to rise. If you don't want to with shoulders, you can just leave them low, okay? Bend the knees as much as you would like. Keep the breath moving, nice big inhale and exhale. If you're used to an Ujjayi breath, please do use. And then release as we sweep all the way back up. Hands to the heart. And we're going to step wide across our mat. If you wish to, you can turn to the side. If you want to, you can just step across your mat. It's up to you. I've got the luxury of 2 mats, so I can still see you. I'm going to take a play with just some warming up, little wide fold as well. So all we're going to do first is some side lunges to kind of get our cardio up a wee bit. So we're going to head across to one side and gently stretch, touching the toes if you want, feet turning out. Ooh, it's unusual. And just work slowly with the breath, lifting the hand at the back if you wish. Pushing into the feet, so making sure you're not curling those toes. Whole foot, heel, the ball joint. Bringing this movement up, so we're coming out to the sides. And with all our movements, really being mindful about, don't know why there's interference, that's really odd. Shouldn't be. Keep moving. Might be Amanda. My digital guru. I should know that, shouldn't I? And then lifting higher. Come back down to center, just stretch into the sides. And then just slowly bring yourself so that you're in a comfortable wide fold. So our feet are going to be placed on the mat, toes gently pointing out. We're going to come into a wide fold, softening knees. So same principle as any forward fold. Inhaling, and we exhale as we just soften the knees, come forwards, allow the body to come down, head is not leading, it's just in line with the body. Take a moment here in wide fold. Maybe interlace the hands behind you and bring that stretch back into it where the hands come above the body. Pushing into the heels. Really strong breath. Releasing the hands gently to the mat. Left hand, you can use a block if you need. Left hand's going to stay, right hand's going to lift all the way up to the sky. Swapping hands, softening the knee if you wish to bend. Left hand rolls back onto the mat again, lift the right. And all the way again. Using hand weights is perfectly fine. If that's an option in class as well, it's fine. Push into the heels, hinge at the hips, lift, pushing into the heels to draw yourself back up when you're ready. That's gone too loud. We're going to take Utkatasana. So we're going to play with this. So facing forwards now. Really find your kind of connection. Feet can be hip width apart or they can be closer together, whatever your practice is. We're going to lift as we draw ourselves down and sink the hips back. Going to pull the thumbs up gently. Excellent. Keep breathing. Sink a little deeper if you wish. Gaze can be forwards. And we're going to inhale to center and exhale on a twist. So we're going to bring the hands, inhale, either side, exhale into a twist. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Take a break at any time for taking a forward fold or softening. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, nearly there. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Forward fold, Uttanasana, just stretching and straightening the legs. Take the hands to the elbows, allow the head just to hang in dangling pose if you wish. Bring the weight over the feet. Bend the knees as much as you need if you've got any pressure in that lower back. And then draw yourself all the way up, hinging at the hips, lifting up into upward salute. All the way back down. Hands to the heart, Tadasana. Stepping to the top of the mat. Inhale, sun salutation. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank. Knees down if you wish. And then choose a little vinyasa. I'm going to go for an easy one for folks with knees down into cobra. Meeting in downward facing dog. We'll get there, Gary. That's it. Keep the elbows facing the back of the mat. I'll show you that again in a bit. Take a moment here. We're going to come up and over into plank. And this is Amanda's favorite. And it's Joe's favorite too. A little bit of mountain climbers for you. So we're just going to take the knees in. And get that speed going. So see how fast you can bring these mountain climbers in. Take a break at any point. Picking up the pace. And then take a moment. If you wish, you can come into a child's pose. If not, come back up into that downward facing dog. And take a float or a hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. And then exhale, allowing yourself to come down, to go up. Now, remembering that your balance is easier if your feet are wider apart. We're going to go into a lunge. I'm just saying that. So if you're just working on that tightrope, you don't then step back and wobble. Okay. If you've got water or need to remove layers, then do just grab. It's absolutely fine. Oh, need that. And we're going to come to the top of the mat. So your choice, whether feet are closer together. Take a moment here. I'm going to inhale, lift. We're going to bring the hands gently, interlace the fingers, bring them behind the head, open the elbows, and just gently support as we open the chest, look up. Really engage that front body. Just draw that belly in to support you slightly. Gently come back up, inhale. Exhale. And as we sweep the hands forward, keeping the right foot at the front of the mat, we're going to step to high lunge crescent. Dropping the back knee, Amanda, if you need to, but keep that back leg straight, otherwise pushing into the heel, engage the core. As we come forwards, we're going to lift the knee and drop the hands. So we're really going to squeeze the knee up and in, drawing us into that balance. Again, you can use hand weights if you wish here. Inhale as we go back into that crescent lunge. Exhale as we lift up. Inhale, crescent lunge. Take the gaze up if you wish. Exhale, lift. And while we're in this one-legged pose, you're going to just push the heel forwards, hands outstretched. Wherever that foot, if it's low, that's absolutely fine. And it's Corey's favorite. As I said that, she wobbled. Inhale, lift back up. Either go to a child's pose for a rest or take a vinyasa. So if you're new to vinyasa, into plank, just for the moment, knees can come down if you wish, elbows facing back of the mat as you just lift yourself down into cobra. Now I know others will be quite adept moving through different vinyasa. Push then up to cobra, up to downward facing dog, sorry. We're going to anchor the right foot, lift the left up into tripod or three-legged dog. Keep those hips forwards, even weight in the hands. We're going to step that left foot all the way to the front of the mat. So draw it all the way up into the core, lift and bring forward. Excellent. Sweeping up from here into high lunge crescent moon. And then draw back. So you're lifting that knee on an exhale. Inhale back into crescent lunge. Exhale, lift. Really squeeze that knee up. Hands down. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Crescent moon lunge. Exhale. Inhale. I haven't got a clue what time it is, so we'll be carrying on into yin at this rate. It's fine, plenty of time. Last one, lift. It's all right, Ian. And then push the heel forwards, lift the hands forwards. Draw back into Tadasana. Allow yourself to come into mountain pose. Feel the feet connecting. I want you to really think about the four sides of the foot, thinking about them on the yoga mat. Lift up through that front body. Feel the core gently engage. Allow the shoulders to relax. And then feel grounding into the heels and lightness in the top body. Take a moment with the breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. We're going to leave the right foot at the front, step back into a low lunge, dropping that back knee. Sweep up, low lunge, crescent moon. Hands are going to frame the front foot. Bring the knee up at the back, just step those toes. And using your core to support you here, not pushing all your weight into your hands. We're going to do a runner's lunge switch. So I'm just going to hop back and forwards. Joe's favorite. As many or as little as you want, Joe. Or just use that runner's lunge. If you're not keen on doing them, use that runner's lunge to push into the feet and hover the hands. So you're really thinking about that that's it, Joe. And if not, have a shuffle. Brilliant. Take a moment, couple more if you wish. So right foot is back. Bring the knee down into low lunge. Sweep the hands up. Lift. You can take a wee back bend here if you want, opening the chest rather than bending at the lower back. Or you can use the hands to support you, just opening gently. We're going to take a vinyasa or take a child's pose if you need a break. Anytime. Hands come forwards, lift up. Your version of vinyasa. So just coming down. So Gary, knees just gently will help to then bring your arms down into cobra. Elbows, that's it, towards the back of the mat. Meeting in downward facing dog. Anchor the right foot, lift the left up into three-legged dog or tripod. Drawing that left foot through to the front, stepping through. Excellent. Dropping that right knee into low lunge. You can uncurl the back if you wish, the foot, and then push, it's your choice. Take a moment here. Framing the foot. Lifting up to runner's lunge. And again, your choice. If you're here and you're just wanting to see if you can use that core strength and lift, or you can play with the runner's lunge switch, just a little bit of heat. many or as little as you would like. Moving towards that left foot, coming back to the front of the mat. Take a moment here just to settle. Bring the knee down. Inhale, lift. Hands might come together, they might support wherever you're comfy. All the way down to the mat. We're going to come to our bellies prone. Bring the hands in front of you into Sphinx pose. So gently, so if there's not comfy on your lower back, take the arms slightly forwards. What I'd like you to do is make sure your arms are parallel with the sides of the yoga mat, nice width apart. Walk the toes back behind you. Really think about pressing into the mat with your hands, your forearms. Pressing the pelvis into the mat. Gaze where it's comfy, maybe down, maybe ahead. Walking those toes a little more. We're going to come down to locust. So we're going to bring our bodies all the way down. We're going to stretch the hands out in front of us, keeping our nose, our gaze down towards the mat. And we're going to again walk those feet away from us. Walk the toes away from you, in line with the body. And just switching this about a bit from last week, we're going to lift the left leg and the right arm. Just gently. So alternate, should have said. And then opposite, right and left. For as little or as long as you wish. Swapping back and forwards. Gently moving. Bringing the hands gently behind you, interlacing the fingers. Keeping that gaze just tucked down slightly. We're gently going to pull or just push the arms away from you and allow the front body to just lift gently. And if it's comfy, the heels to just lift gently. Keep that breath nice and deep, moving. Gently releasing when you're ready. Hands are going to come to support you just at the side. And tuck the toes, push yourself back into child's pose. Traditional or wide legs, the knees out, toes together if you want to come into wide-legged child's pose. Stretching the hands forwards. Forehead to the mat if that's comfy. Breathing into the whole of the back, the whole of the torso, the sides of the body. And then gently coming to stack back positions, the hands gently underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, toes tucked if you wish. We're just going to drop the belly looking forwards. And then exhale into cat, rounding the spine, really thinking about tucking that chin, arching the back. Untuck the toes if you wish. Inhaling, looking forward, tucking toes if that's an option for you. And then we're going to come to that neutral spine position and hover the knees, hovering cat. We did this last week. You can also tuck toes, but you can also hover on the front of your feet if you wish as well. Yogi hands, making sure you're really pushing into the fingers, the knuckles, clawing the mat. Breathing, gaze towards the mat. Knees are going to come down to the mat, sweep the feet to the side, we come to seated. We're coming to a boat pose. Just a little bit of movement in this. And if you're thinking about lower back here, what I want you to do, just a few of the basics that we went over from last time. A reminder, Joe, just keeping that chest open. So we're not just slouching, we're using the core to support us. Chest is open. Any pain on your lower back, bring the feet down. It's perfectly fine. And we're just going to play here. So we're going to play to little high boat and low boat. So we're going to bring, if you've got a full boat, please go for it. If you have got a half boat, that's absolutely fine. We're just going to open and then draw in. Inhaling as we open. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. One more. In. We're going to bring our imaginary block, toy, whatever you want, dog, mobile phone across to one side. And we're just going to open, lift, and across to the other side. Take a break at any point. Bring the knees into the chest if you need. And then just lifting up gently. Take a moment here, and we're going to come down all the way to the mat. So we're just going to play, keeping an eye on my time. Not used to this. I'm normally an hour and 15 and it's programmed. So like, we're going to come all the way down, and there's always time for roll down. So we're going to come all the way, just using that core to support you. When you're here, just allow yourself for a moment, just allow the spine just to lengthen. Maybe take the feet to the edge of the mat and bring the knees together. Just find a breath. And just going to take the opportunity before we start to really wind down to just lift the feet, bringing the heels together, soles of the feet all the way up to the ceiling. Now, a little reverse crunch here. You've got options. So hands supporting you to the side, bending the knees slightly, lifting the heels up. So we're not just rocking, we're trying to lift. But you might add a little bit more in. You might bring the feet out in front of you slightly and then lift to the sky. Whatever suits you. If it doesn't, bring the knees into the chest and give yourself a wee hug. Just slowly. And maybe if you wish to hold, you can. Just bringing knees back and hugging the knees into the chest. Allowing the spine really to push into the mat. And then maybe circling the knees one way and then the other. We're gently going to bring the feet down, and the feet are going to go to one corner of the mat, Bananasana. Hands are going to come above to the same side of the mat. So we're in a banana shape. Just maybe if you're on the left-hand side, the left hand catches the right wrist. If you're on the right-hand side, opposite. Letting that stretch all the way through the side body. Swapping to the other side when you're ready. Bringing the knees back to center. Maybe the knees bent. We're going to come into a supine twist. You've got some options here. So some in class prefer when you bring the feet out to the side of the mat and you drop the knee gently so that you're taking like a windshield wiper side twist. Others might want to stack their feet, stack their knees, bring their hands out to the side and come into a fuller supine twist. Maybe taking the gaze opposite to the knees. Keeping the shoulders, if you can, in contact with the mat. Allowing that breath just to start to relax, just naturally rising and falling. Switching to the other side. And then just bringing yourself now, either I'm going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly, bringing the soles of the feet together, the knees out to the side, and just taking a moment here, hands on the belly with the breath. Others might want to come into a short shavasana. If you have props, you're very welcome to use them. Just allow that breath to relax. Bringing the knees gently together. Maybe just turning to your left-hand side and pausing. Eventually coming all the way back up when you are ready, and only when you're ready, into a seated pose. Just taking a moment here, allowing the shoulders to relax. Lift through the spine. Noticing the breath. Maybe softening the eyes. Hands coming together at the heart. Heels gently pressing together. That's okay. We're going to start in a seated meditation. So come into any comfortable seated position, whether your ankles are crossed or not. It's comfy for you. And as we find that comfortable seat, start to think about extending the crown just gently upwards. That lengthening of the spine, just relax the shoulders, maybe soften the eyes. Maybe visualizing a peaceful place that means something to you. And just allowing the breath just to rise and fall naturally. I'm just going to bring to the beginning of the session just a thought about the qualities of Yin Yoga compared to what we've just been doing if you had joined us for Power Yoga. And Yin is very much about that softening, patience. It's about kindness. It's also about effort and dedication. And I used this analogy when we did our Yin series. Bit of a Goldilocks approach to Yin. You need to listen to your body. So if Daddy Bear's chair is too hard, ease off. Please, you shouldn't feel any pain. So listen and soften if you need. And as we start to slow and steady our breath, as we inhale, as if you're breathing in that light. On the exhale, relaxing, slowly exhaling through the nose. And we're gently going to take a little neck release. So we're going to drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. For ease, you can tilt the head forward slightly. Maybe taking the left hand all the way up and just cradling so the hand comes towards the ear. You're not pulling, just allowing a little bit of gravity. The softness of the in breath. You can still draw a soft ujjayi if you wish. Very gently releasing, drawing the chin towards the chest. And then gently bringing to the other side, so right ear to right shoulder, lifting the right arm. And allowing the hand to come towards the ear. it's too much, just tilting the head gently. Gently releasing the hand and bringing the chin back to center, gently to the chest. And we're going to draw a half moon with our nose, drawing across to one side, really slowly and mindfully. Then as we come towards center, we drop the chin and across to the other side. Back and forward to suit, pausing. If you feel an area of tension, take your breath, take an inhale. And on the exhale, push that breath towards that area of tension. Returning when you're ready, all the way back to center. And maybe bringing your focus into the room. Just being aware of how you feel. And we're going to come into caterpillar. You can still use something to lift the hips if you wish. There's lots of modifications here that we can use, but we're going to stretch the legs. So it's effectively a seated forward fold. So for those of you in my normal class, it's just, I don't use a blanket, so I'm going to come off mine. But coming into Dandasana, if you wish, you can use something under the back of your knees to soften your legs. You're very welcome. If you have a bolster or a cushion, or many cushions, you can bring that in front of you so you can come down. And I encourage as many props as possible. So if you're wanting to bring blocks into the equation, you don't need all of this. I'm just showing you that actually we can come into a supported position in caterpillar. Okay, so what we need to do, I'm just giving you the options of the props. Keep your tailbone in contact with whatever you're sitting on or the ground. Allow that length through the back of the legs. And feel that connection and that alignment through the mat. We're softening into this pose. So I am going to use bolster. I like my bolster forwards. And that allows me to just round. And this is where we're not worried about the spine, supporting anything. We work in my classes with hinging at the hips to do folds. But we can just allow that top body to come down, relaxing the back of the legs, relaxing into this fold. You can use elbows into the body and fingers to support the forehead if you wish, or blankets or blocks or pillows. Find a place where you can settle. Remembering that kindness is a quality of yin. And often we wonder how we know when we need to move out of the pose. And that's when we find that edge, and an edge in yin is where we know we need to move. So if you find you get pain, or if you start to get a tingling sensation and you are not comfy, then just soften, please. Allowing the breath to fill the lungs. Feeling the breath into the back. Allowing gravity to do its work. Very gently, maybe the hands come to support you to walk gently out of the pose when you're ready. Back upright. Transitioning very slowly back to just Dandasana. So bring the toes towards you, maybe just moving the bolster, hands just gently to the side, tucking the tailbone gently under. Just activating the back of the legs just by pushing in legs to the mat. Bring the toes towards you just for a moment. Remember to breathe. Then relax. We're going to come into deer pose. So the easiest way to get into deer pose is to take one leg, so the shin is towards the top of the mat, or if you've got any kind of hip issues at all, you can bring that foot slightly closer into you. So shin to the top edge, and the other leg, maybe your right leg, the shin to the side edge. So you're coming into this side position. Adjust it so it's comfy for you. So hip issues, draw the knees, the heels in towards you slightly, okay? It is a bit like Goldilocks because you've got so many choices in yin that it's just wonderful. You can keep this position quite upright, and you can support this position just by lifting up through the body. You can also fold in deer. So we're combining an inner and outer hip rotation in this pose. But you can also add a twist into this if you like twists to soothe the back. So you can have blankets in front of you and that, or a bolster into the shin, and it'll allow you to come down. If you've got a blanket or a pillow, you can bring this up and you can allow yourself to fold. So we want to be supported in yin. Do you want to borrow my bolster? Would that help you? You sure? Do you want my blanket? You sure? I can offer blocks. Well, soften it if it is too much. If you're a lover of the twist, and I know some of you are in here as well, you can bring this to the side And you can use it as an upright twist. Or we've done this in actually our Thursday classes. You can bring the forearms down and take a twist here as well. It's really up to you what is comfy for you. You may just be upright, working, softening, wherever you are. Just making sure you're comfy. And it does take a bit of time to work out what that is for you. And the reason why I really encourage you to find I'm going to be listening to the Three Bears all evening now in my head, but to find the right chair for you is because I don't know your body. I can't tell you what's right for you. In the end, we support our body so we can soften our muscles, which then allows us to then work deeper into the connective tissues with the stretching and the softening. And if a pose doesn't work for you, just take a child's pose or take a pose that suits. And if there's a point at which you wish to move, to change, to swap sides, you do that when you're ready. Remembering in yoga, one side can feel extremely different to the other. Settling into the other side. It might be that your body says you want to do something different. It's fine. Go with what you are feeling. Whenever you're ready, and I can see people, you move in your own pace. When you're ready, coming into a restorative child's pose. Again, you can use bolster blanket to bring this pose higher. Or you can just allow yourself to settle using the forearms to, and if you've got any knee issues and you want a softer child's pose, grab something and pop it. And it's quite nice anyway to do, but pop it behind your legs. And if we're raising our hips slightly by doing that, it's always good to raise the head slightly. So you can use your hands to do that, or you can use a block to do that. Or anything that suits. And just in child's pose, our breath is not just into the stomach or the chest. Breathe into the whole of the torso. Breathing into the sides of the body. Breathing into the back of the body. Melting into child's pose. In Yin, the 4 points that ground us. When we pause, we soften, we connect, we listen. Take a lovely deep breath, breathing into your heart, feeling it expand and feeling it soften as you exhale. And then allow yourself to push and walk the hands towards you, drawing yourself upright. Choices for the base pose here. You can, if you wish, come to sit on the heels. So we're in a little hero pose. So we sit between kind of our heels we're sitting in. But if that's not good for your knees, come forwards and come into seated. So you will know what that feels like. The blanket behind the heels, just helps a little bit of softness. If you want to soften, do the knees a bit. We're going to come into reverse prayer arms. And I know for some that strikes fear. So I'm just going to give you the options here. So if you're not keen on drawing into reverse, I can see it already, into reverse prayer hands, and your wrists are just not going to allow that. Take the chest open and take gently clasping the forearms. The purpose of this is to open the shoulders, to open the chest, to open the gaze. It is not to destroy your wrists. So please, you choose. Shoulders square to the front of the mat. So just checking. Pulling the shoulders gently down, the chest open. If the gaze up is not for you, take a stretch down the back of the neck, taking the chin to the chest. And do bring the breath into the equation if you would like. There's a wonderful quote that comes into my head. Remember, it doesn't matter how deep into a posture you go. What matters is who you are when you get there. That's Max Strom. We're all very different, so we all look different in poses especially. Relaxing the arms gently in front of you, bringing them just onto the thighs, taking a moment here. Another Marmite pose. If you wish, you can stay here, or just for a moment, take a little toe stretch. So I'm tucking the toes underneath me, and I'm just gently sitting back. For some, that's hideous, and I know that. So what I might like is not the same for you, in which case, just take a moment with flat. We're going to come forwards into a melting heart pose in a moment. We looked at this last week, but new faces and different ways we're feeling. So melting heart pose is like puppy pose, but what we're going to do, we're coming into this, it's an asana that opens the heart, the chest. We're coming into this from stacked back position, okay? If you've got lots and lots of props, firstly, if there's any shoulder issues, which I'm aware of, then when we stretch the hands out, stretched, for you, if you have shoulder issues, softening this by just bringing the forearm parallel to the front of the mat will soften and allow you to bring height to the head. So that just softens if you kind of get any of the pinching sensation in your shoulders. For any who want to take a little bit more into this pose, bringing namaste to the back of the head and the elbows forwards. So, and this pose is not about how close you can get your chest. Don't please wreck your shoulders. Find a place that's comfy. You can, if you wish, use a blanket for the knees. Softening the knees is lovely too. So we're going to walk. We start in stack back. We're going to walk the hands forwards. Allow our chest to melt towards the mat. Allow the hips to rise so that the hips are just above the knees. Allowing, if you wish, the head to rest on the back of a hand, if that's comfy for you. Allow gravity to do the work here. Use a steady breath, reaching through the arms if they're outstretched, softening the neck and the upper back. That steady breath, feel the rib cage expand slightly. Softening. Patience with the pose. Kindness, if you need to move, please do. that effort. And that dedication, that holding. When you're ready, maybe moving back gently to a child's pose, sinking the hips to the heels. Just for a pause. And then joining me as we just rise up gently into stacked back position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Allowing just a moment here of movement. Cow as we drop the belly, lift the gaze forwards. As cat, maybe untucking toes, drawing the spine, arching, chin into chest. Inhaling as we come back into cow, dropping the belly, maybe tucking the toes. It gives a little bit of protection of the lower back if we tuck toes. Just an option. Doesn't matter either way, it's how you feel. Exhaling, rounding the spine. And I want to draw a little softness into our practice tonight. So take some organic movement. Take maybe a circling of the hips, slowly moving through a moving cat-cow. So you might come forwards into cow. You might arch the back as you sink towards the hips, maybe to one side in cat. So just a little bit of yang and the yin. And then coming to pause when you're ready. We're going to play with threading the needle. And this is a pose, ironically, this is a pose that you can do after actually you've had a night's sleep. Because I don't know if you're about me, but whatever mattress I have, I always wake up with that like kind of kink in my neck. And I've just taken a mortgage out and a new pillow. And that's so, but this one works. So coming into thread the needle, what we're going to do, we're just going to come into that stack back position, take our arm out to the side, and there's various ways we can get into this. Dropping the shoulder towards the mat, allowing us to come down. Now you can use anything, pillows underneath the shoulder if your shoulder doesn't want to come down, a blanket to soften this. You can take the arm out stretched forwards, or you can take it, so while you're upright, you can take it into a bind by lifting that arm that's free up and over into just the kind of the crease between the hip and the leg in a bind. Wherever's comfy for you, and again, using a cushion to soften if you need. That's it. Brilliant, brilliant, Claire. That's the idea. So propping. Focusing on the thoracic spine. Calming posture, I hope. Breathing into your heart. Feel it expand as you inhale. And soften as you exhale. moving out of the bind if you need to. Slowly unraveling. Always coming back to that neutral spine position. Taking a moment here, if you need to take movement and a cat-cow, do what's right for your body before we move to the other side. Extending the arm out to the side, threading it underneath, drawing the shoulder down, moving blankets and props if you need, taking a gentle bind if that's an option for you. Doesn't need to be. Just allowing yourself and gravity to do the work here. Remembering the inhale and the exhale. And when it's time for you to move, you're very welcome to do so. So, relatively new class, and we're not holding poses for 5 minutes at the moment. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Just gently bringing the focus back to the room. Next one, you've got two options. For some, I know that you're not keen on being forwards and into this pose. We're going into swan. And swan is very much like the pigeon pose. I know for some it's their favorite. I know for others it isn't. So my option for you, if you are taking the seated variation of swan, is you can have a block if you want, or you can just keep your foot on the mat. It doesn't matter. To use your hands to gently support you and to bring the ankle over, okay, the knee, which gives you a similar sort of pose, except it's very much more friendly on the hips and also the belly. Okay, so that's your option if you would like. And actually you can make this even more yin friendly, because if you've got lots and lots of cushions, that's a bit low for me, but you can lean into this. Okay, so if you had lots of cushions, you can stack yourself or use the wall behind you. All right. For those who want to come into the reclined pose of this, prone I should say, then you can use blankets. I do like softness on the mat. And as we work into this, we're going to bring our shin forwards. So we're going to bring our shin forward. So very much like your pigeon pose. That's all it is. It's the same thing, really. Now, my shin does not go parallel with the front of the mat. Okay, so just put that there. That's not comfy for me. If you've got any hip issues or you want to be kind, you can use a block or something just to prop into the hip, which can just help a little bit. Soften with knees, blankets. Keep that leg long behind you, so allow that leg just to come out long. You can keep this pose upright as well, so you don't have to come forwards on this. Or you can come into sleeping swan, which is when we walk the hands forwards. Maybe you have a block, maybe you use your hands to rest the forehead. The difference between using a pillow just to prop the hip and a block is the pillow we soften into the pose, so it's going to allow us to soften. The block is really good if you have an injury and you don't need to soften into the pose, but you want to hold the pose because the block doesn't soften. When we're opening the hips here through that outer hip rotation. So choose where you're comfy. So Marmite pose for me, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't include it in class. Find what's good for you. Let gravity do the work. Let the forearms support you if required. Try and keep your hips square. So if you feel like your hips rolling to one side and your hips opening, maybe use something to support it. And if it's not a pose for you, and you can feel that pinching, then bring it just upright, allowing a gentler variation. Again, this is one that you will know when you need to come out of the pose. So just do. And if you are wanting a total counter pose to this, and you just want to take a break in the middle, come down to your back, bring your feet to the edge of the mat, bring the knees together. So when you're ready, we're actually going to move into this pose. And if you're not wanting to lay flat, you can use this by keeping the top body upright. Lots of options. We're going to work to the other side in a moment. Allowing that support of the knees, feeling of grounding in the soles of the feet, the softness of the breath. Just taking a moment. And again, we're moving to the opposite side. So whenever you're ready, there is no rush to move. It may be that you keep the upright position. It may be that you come to the other side. And keeping this pose upright is softer on the hips than folding. So choose what is comfy for you. For how long that is, it's up to you. Same principle applies in any yoga class. If you start to feel yourself holding your breath, remember to breathe. In Yin, maybe you've just got to that edge and you just need to soften a little. You'll know when. Moving gently if you need to an easier position. or different position. Again, if you need to move to a pose, come back down to that constructive rest pose. That can stay upright if you wish, supporting with the hands, or you can bring it down so you're on your back. In constructive rest pose, we allow the spine just to do its thing. Let it retain its natural curve. And if that pose is not for you, maybe bringing yourself back up to just a seated position. I'm giving alternatives because I'm aware of different folks' needs in classes, so choose what suits you. And with the breath, allow the inhale and exhale just to guide you on every breath, releasing the breath and relaxing just a little more. We're going to be moving either upright or on our backs to a supine twist. So if you're upright, very much you can keep this by just dropping the knee and gently releasing it to the mat or wherever's comfy. You can use a cushion to support that knee so it doesn't come all the way across. So you can do this upright. If you're in the prone version, the reclined version, again, you can use a cushion between the legs. Keep the shoulders gently to the mat. Hands might come out to the side, or they might come into the lower back to support, and the belly. Yin is a little bit of kind of definitely going off piste here, and I do like to do that in my classes on a Thursday. And yin is exactly the same. If it suits you to have your hand to support the back, suits you to put a cushion or a pillow wherever to support, please do. Allowing the softening. And moving when you're ready to the other side. There's no rush. That might be in an upright position, just gently softening, supporting with a pillow. And we're moving towards our final relaxation. So when you're ready, now is the time to find your cozy socks, your woolly hat, a jacket, a blanket, and either come into a shavasana. A seated meditation is where I'm going to be, but you might find that you want to put something under the back of the legs. You might want a blanket on top of you. Our shavasana in yin is very much that the knees can come out slightly rather than our legs and our knees up and our toes up. We can soften this pose. You might wish a pillow under the back of the neck. Wherever you're comfy. If you have an eye pillow, then please feel free. If you use the wall really close behind you, Liska, you can use the wall to lean on as well. It's quite nice. Just allows you to ease into the pose, a little bit of softness. Hopefully it's not too cold. Just allowing the body to settle. Maybe settling the shoulder blades. And becoming aware of where the body is connecting and being supported by the earth. Maybe feeling a heaviness in the heels, the backs of the legs, any discomfort into the lower back. Just bend the knees and just bring a little softness into the pose. Allowing yourself to feel the weight of the hips, of the spine. Allowing that feeling of heaviness in the shoulders and the backs of the arms. Feeling the back of the head supported. And bring softness to the forehead. Softness to the face, to the jaw. Softness into the palms of our hands. And softness into the heart. Allowing the breath to rise and fall. Taking a deep inhale and pushing the exhale all the way to your toes. Start to bring your awareness back to the body, back to the hands, back to the feet, just by maybe slowly moving them. And absolutely in your own time, please, and mindfully, just moving yourself onto your left-hand side and pausing, taking a moment, maybe even curling the knees into the body. And when you are ready, bringing yourself back up very slowly to a seated position. As we come to a seated position, bringing the hands gently together, and we're going to just rub the palms of the hands gently to create a little heat. Bringing the heels of the hands towards the eyes. And bringing the hands gently to the heart, Anjali Mudra. Inhaling. Thank you very much